In the previous video, I was going over how I was going to go about machining this part out and how I needed to draw it to get the part out of the piece of stock. And I kind of left out the part about selecting the cutters that I'm going to use, the end mills that I would use. And I want to kind of back up here a little bit. I had said in the last video that once I had cut this shape, okay, and I'm sorry, this shape down to this depth and this shape, that I was basically done until I got to this side, and that's at the point that the part would be cut loose. Okay, I'm going to show a little closer what I'm talking about, what I have to do. And the first thing I would do is take the piece of round stock. Now this is not correct in the length or anything, but I just want to give you an idea. Is chuck the round stock up in the lathe and put a small center point at the end of the stock, which would be out here somewhere. I have to support this end for most of the machining, so I'm going to center drill the stock out here. So at that point in time, then I just had a piece of round stock, and then I would square the stock down to a dimension that in the mill, while this is in the rotary axis and this piece is center drilled, this is part of this, then my eventual stock would look something like this. Okay, and of course the part's going to be milled out of this. Now the reason it's so long and it needs to be center drilled is in order to cut this area here out and get down to this level, I don't know if you can see, get down to this level and remove all the material out beyond this point. So I'm cutting down this way, down this way to this level right here, the top, right here. I need to use a large cutter. So this will be supported, and then in order to cut around this piece, I'll actually do it with an 11/16 end mill. And as you can see, as this comes around this profile and makes its way down, it will bring the entire part down to that level. Okay, so that's, I kind of, in the last video, if you watch it again, you'll notice that there's if I used a small end mill to cut this profile out in that top view, then there still would have been a big chunk of metal sitting on top of here. By using an 11/16 end mill to cut this out, I've now removed everything down to that point. Now the part is still held on by the material on the back side of here and below. Okay, and at this point it's still supported out here at the end of the block. So it would look basically something like this. Materials come out of here something like that, and there has been room for this 3/4 inch cutter to come around the back side of this shape. I don't know, see if we can get in there. So that cutter could come around the back side and cut out that shape, and then the part is still supported on from the back side back here. It's still in the material. All this square block is still completely here. So as you're doing it, you got to visualize where your part is in the material. And like I said, if I'd have come in and cut this shape out with an 1/8 inch end mill, then I would have left all this material above this point. So it needed to do it with a big end mill. I sound like a babbling idiot, but Hopefully you get an idea of what I'm saying. So now that this is the only part facing out this way is the only part left in our original square block, and it was centered from this point. Uh, Now we can actually remove this center out of the picture and come in with a small cutter and then cut down through this way to release the part with a small cutter. I won't need, there won't be that much cutting force on this profile. Of course, this one's already been cut. This has been cut too. So actually, the only part still holding is over here on to this level. Hope that makes sense. I'm going to watch this video. I probably sound like an idiot, but part of it is just visualizing how you're going to cut it out and where you're going to, how you're going to maintain a hold on the piece until the final step. So then the final step is to come in and release the part with a small end mill coming down from this direction, and then it will release it out of the block. That's it for this video. Hopefully, if I got to cover any more on it, it'll make a little better sense. But like I said, when this comes through here now, it'll actually cut down to that level. If you can see, it's coming in from the top, and it'll cut down to that level. There are some other small features right here. I could pick those up. I don't really think they're required for this helicopter, but I could pick these up if I wanted to. After I made the 11/16 cut, I could come in with a small 1/8 inch end mill and profile that around that circle and just make that little section right there. But that's it for this video.